Our paranormal tour of Ohio is coming to an end. But first, we need to take a quick detour to West Virginia. Across the Ohio River, all the way to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, we find the Mothman, or at least a lot of people who have claimed to see him. Now, back in 1966, two couples claimed to see a large winged figure with glowing red eyes standing in front of their car. They said the creature chased them to the outskirts of town. After the couples told their story, the legend of the Mothman grew. Within the following year, more people in town and neighboring areas claimed to have seen the beast, including some people across the river in Gallipolis, Ohio. The strange sightings gained national attention, but unfortunately, this was not the only thing that drew eyes to the area. Tragedy struck in 1967 when the Silver Bridge connecting Point Pleasant to Gallipolis collapsed, killing 46 people. As the city mourned the loss, some turned their grief to the mysterious Mothman sightings, claiming the creature was connected to the collapse and was sent as either a warning or a harbinger of doom. Now, this theory gained popularity by John Keel in his book, The Mothman Prophecies, which was later adapted to a movie with the same name. Since then, the fine folks of Point Pleasant have grown fond of their flying friend. If you visit the town, you can stop in at the Mothman Museum, where you can see newspaper clippings from the original sightings, or take a selfie with the Mothman statue outside the museum. The town also hosts an annual Mothman Festival, which unfortunately had to be canceled this year, because even Mothman needs to practice social distancing. But plans are already coming together for next year's festivities. Next, we are heading to the Ridges in Athens. In 1867, the Ohio legislature saw that there was a need for an asylum in southeastern Ohio and appointed a committee to find a suitable location. The design of the building was influenced by Dr. Thomas Story Kirkbridge, a 19th century physician who authored a book on mental hospital designs. Now, the asylum officially began operations in January of 1874. The institution treated a variety of patients, from children to violent criminals who had a wide range of diagnoses, from slightly distressed to severe mental illnesses. Many of the treatments used have been discredited today, and the asylum was best known for its use of lobotomies throughout the years. More buildings were added to house the increase in patients over the years. The population peaked at 2,000 patients during the 1960s. Patient admissions eventually declined, and the asylum eventually closed in 1993 before becoming a part of the Ohio University campus. Now, given its history, it's unsurprising that rumors of the paranormal have sprung up from the area. Many who have visited the building have claimed to see shadowy figures and strange lights, and some have even claimed to hear screams echoing through the halls. The most prominent ghost is said to be that of Margaret Schilling. Margaret was a patient at the asylum in the 1970s, but in 1978, she disappeared, only to be found a month later, dead, in a locked, long-abandoned ward. Some say her ghost can be seen looking down from the window of the room where she died. The Southeast Ohio History Center offers walking tours and even has one from 10 p.m. to midnight on October 30th, the day before Halloween, so you can welcome in Halloween at one of the most haunted locations in Southeast Ohio. While mostly being associated with the West Coast, Ohio has its fair share of Bigfoot sightings, and none more than at Salt Fork State Park. Salt Fork is one of Ohio's largest state parks, with over 17,000 acres of recreational facilities, which is plenty of room for a Sasquatch or two to live. Since the 1980s, there have been a total of 36 alleged Bigfoot sightings, which helped earn the park a spot on USA Today's top 10 list of squatchiest places in the country. Salt Fork Park has been featured on many monster hunting shows, including Finding Bigfoot and Monster Quest. Kathy Lee and Hoda from the Today Show even stopped by to see if they could spot Sasquatch. While some places may try and distance themselves from a paranormal connection, Salt Fork State Park leans into their Bigfoot rumors and even hosts the annual Bigfoot Conference, which has been going on since 2005 and attracts visitors and guest speakers from across the country. The park also offers a Creature Weekend in the spring and monthly Bigfoot hikes at night.